How's it going, guys? Welcome back, and I hope you're doing well. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go over why I think you should give Phantom Knight's Veil a shot. Now before we do, some of you may know I do like to do unscripted content, so if it does get a little long-winded, I'll leave the chapters down below for easy navigation. So, that out of the way, let's do Phantom Knight's Veil. So, Phantom Knight's Veil is a Greatsword skill. It's a Greatsword skill that every single Greatsword user should be using. So, it states, unleash the explosive power of Blade Phantom to attack. After using Phantom Knight's Veil, that's very important, briefly gain an effect that allows you to radiate Blade Phantom's damage and damages nearby enemies when charging a skill. This costs 1 Fury or 1 Spirit to use. It's very good. Now, this is going to serve a couple purposes, but I'll finish reading first. When successfully charging and landing the skill, the Phantom executes a follow-up attack. If the charge is canceled, this is really cool, if the charge is canceled by incoming damage, the Phantom attempts a counter strike, which is really cool. So if you get caught while charging this, the Phantom will attempt a counter strike on the enemy, which usually staggers. So it almost gives you a little bit of breathing room if you get hit, like some additional breathing room. This is pretty good as well, especially with these two. If you get hit a lot, or if you're limit testing a lot with the Greatsword. So if you take damage while attacking, you gain some Spirit or Fury, and you deal damage. So that would affect the Phantom's counter strike as well. And here in the heat of battle, you gain increased poise and take less damage while attacking. So these are pretty cool. But let's continue on with Phantom Knight's Veil. Charge this skill to consume 1 additional Fury charge or Spirit charge and increase its damage and effect duration. Guys, 9 times out of 10, I'm always charging this skill. Especially when, if you're using Devourer of Darkness with Ghost Arm Block Overpower, Instant Charge, or Fury Swipe Agility, get your instant charge. But even if I'm not using those, I definitely still always charge this more often than not. Now, another really cool effect of Phantom Knight's Veil is while under the effect of Phantom Knight's Veil, you take decreased stamina damage. This is really, really good, especially nice quality of life. As I mentioned, when combined with Indomitable or Heat of Battle, and if you enjoy the tanky, right, like power fantasy of being like a tank, just this absolute unit on the battlefield, Warcry with the decreased stamina damage of Phantom Knight's Veil really is good to pair together to really just become a tank, right? Be able to soak damage, tank some damage while using the Greatsword. It is really cool, right? Because you can make a whole build around being a tank. It's not the best in hardcore mode. It's usually reserved for expert and below, because you don't have that massive stamina damage increase. And it's just absurd in hardcore. So expert and below really is kind of that tanky build. But other than that, guys, Phantom Knight's Veil, it is similar to Trance. It's kind of like or Moonlight Stands, I should say, with Spear. You want this buff up, ideally, at all times. Especially if you are a little bit inexperienced with the Greatsword. And I mean, and even if you're not, but especially if you're still getting used to charging your attacks and you're not really comfortable yet with how to make the Greatsword flow kind of seamlessly, right? If some of your attacks are still kind of disjointed and you're still kind of working out which charge attacks go together and kind of which moves to piece together to get the most smooth gameplay out of the Greatsword, this is really nice to at least have this up every time you can, because those pulses, right, that radiate outwards, those, because they deal damage and tick damage, they're going to keep your enemy staggered if you have already staggered them, right? So it's really, really good, and especially, so it's going to keep them staggered, but it also does deal solid damage. So that's just extra passive damage that you're going to get while you're attacking your enemies. And also another cool benefit is you can, minor enemies like, like the small foot soldiers, stuff like that, some of the chaos demons, right? They can be staggered by just these phantom waves, which is actually really cool to me, right? So if they're coming up to you, or if if maybe you miss a helm break or something, and then because when you're using helm break, that's a charged attack. If you have Phantom Knight's Veil active, it'll kind of just shoot out one burst and it will stagger them, and really increases your safety, right, while using the Greatsword. So very cool, very cool. Another thing about Phantom Knight's Veil I will say is that don't underestimate its use as an attack itself. I made this mistake for a while with Greatsword until I really realized the incredible stagger that Phantom Knight's Veil has, as well as damage. The damage and stagger of Phantom Knight's Veil is exceptional. So even if you have, even if you have like a half duration left or something, don't be afraid to just use it as an attack, and while simultaneously refreshing it, right? Because its damage is very, very solid, and its recovery frames are pretty good, especially if you use like Furious Swipe after it to maintain stagger, or you could even guard cancel, right, and pop into like Titanic Descent, something like that, or you could guard cancel and pop into, whatever, a charged potent blow, helm break, whatever you need. Now, one last thing I'll say about Phantom Knight's Veil is, which, again, I like, is that when you're using Phantom Knight's Veil, the main benefit, I would say, or one of the really cool ways to use it, is definitely with the instant charge skills. Because, if you're using Devourer of Darkness, or if you're using Furious Swipe Agility, you're going to get solid damage, and it's very fast. It really is a fast skill, and it's super, super enjoyable to use it that way, in my opinion. All right, so honestly, guys, that's all I really got for Phantom Knight's Veil. Actually, one more thing I will say is that sometimes, if you're really in a bind and you need it activated, the few times that I would use an uncharged is really if it's not active and you need it active while your enemy is staggered, right? So if you don't have it active and you want to maintain stagger, a good way to initiate it and then resume stagger is an uncharged into Furious Swipe. Again, it's not ideal because you really do want to have it charged. But that to me is one thing that I really like. Just if, again, say you don't have it activated and you just burst countered your enemy, right? There's a little bit of window there to stagger. And if you realize, oh shit, I need to reactivate this real quick, just hit a quick one into Furious Swipe, and then there you go. You have it active, and then you can go into Furious Swipe, combat cadence, whatever you need to do, resume your attacking. So yeah, other than that, guys, that's all I got for you. I got a couple fights for you today. Again, just to demonstrate the staggering of Phantom Knight's Veil, using it as an attack, and just the overall usage of it, seeing those pulse waves come out, right? Maintaining that stagger, all that jazz, and just the passive damage, right? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, this was a short one. Phantom Knight's Veil is pretty straightforward, but as a any Greatsword user, you really should be using Phantom Knight's Veil. I know it's kind of a lot to read, and I think a lot of people just gloss over it, but there's a lot there. That's a very good skill, very cool skill. You should definitely have it up all the time. Yeah, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please do me a solid. Please remember, if you enjoy the video, if you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing. Let me know. I would like to continue making content in the future. It means a lot. If you did not like the video, please do not subscribe. I'm hoping that I could earn your subscription in the next one. All right, guys, enjoy the fights, and I will see you in the next video.